Okay, welcome back to the last turn. This is 1700 or 5 p.m. Last turn of Chinn Ridge scenario of this 160th anniversary of Second Manassas playthrough. So here's the situation at the end of the 1400 turn. Here we have the Confederates making inroads and taking most of Chinn Ridge. There's a little segment up here that's not captured by them, but paying a pretty decent price, strength-wise and cohesion or morale-wise, because as you can see here, Hood's brigade stretch out in this horseshoe right here. You'll notice that 1, 2, 3 of them are disrupted, and 2 of them here are in good shape. And it makes it even worse is this third one over here is also collapsed. He's down to 2 strength points, and he's also out of command, so he won't have much to do. Also part of Hood's division, Evans' brigade back here, once again is out of command, and if you notice, 1, 2 of his brigades are disrupted there as well. The third underneath is not, and his is not as well. So the Union is putting up quite a stiff resistance to the attack at the moment. Big thing here towards the south, and let me adjust you down here. You see the Confederate reinforcements of Kemper and Jones coming on and making attempts to sweep around here and maybe get off the board. I don't know. It's a little dicey at this point whether they'll make it or not on there. And for the Union, we have Ricketts' brigades over here of Stills and Tower coming down and trying to fill this gap and provide some backstop to McLean's units back over here. We also have Maltese coming in over here as well to help out and support what was Warren's brigade up here. He was wounded. It's now Bendix, and of course Hardin's units, the units from Reynolds over here as well. So it's really a tough situation over here. Last turn, if you've watched the Union held their own in terms of firing, and then of course anytime they tried to shock attack, they pulled back. They're giving ground for time to try to prevent the Confederates from taking it. But this is being the last turn. They've kind of retreated all they can up here, and this is where it's going to be a tough one. And this is where I think the Confederates have a chance of winning, because both of these units are out of command. If you notice, McLean's over here, and he cannot trace a line of communications given his range to either one of these units. So they are not going to be allowed to activate. Also, both of these units are collapsed. They're down to only about 100 men apiece, I believe. I can't remember exactly, but I think it's 2. It's 100 men apiece. So the Confederates, having quite a few more, 1st Texas and the 5th Texas pushing on there, they've got enough to bully them off through shock attacks and get them off. But as you notice, behind them, we have Stills lining up over here. Now, if he can get into attack position, he may be able to hold out and save the day up here. Oh, there we go. That's a little bit better view for you. So that's where we are. Now, I've gone through and started the turn. One thing to note, the Union won the initiative, and we see over here Ricketts was chosen as going to be the first unit activated. I noted the out of commands already. That's all taken care of. One small change with divisional orders. Kemper put who is this here? Hutton into attack orders. So they're all set. The rest are staying in advance. Of course, the Union is in advance because there's no divisional commanders on the board to make division orders happen. Now, typically with division orders, I must say, I must have a corps commander in there as well, but there are no corps commanders in this one, so I'm taking a little bit of liberty and saying that divisional commanders can still create divisional commands if they're on the board. So those are all the pieces here. The AMs are in the cup back over here. Hard to see, but they're all there. And the first one's chosen for Ricketts. So let's get going and see what happens here. So Ricketts is going to start. I think we'll start with Tower here. Now Tower, I think, is going to set up to try to continue to block. Given that Hutton is now in attack mode, he doesn't really want to be attacked, so he's going to pull back here a little bit. So he's going to turn with his free turn, and then one more for 1, 2, 3, because that's a trail, 4, and then turn that way. That'll give him coverage to prevent course. If you notice, course is just off the camera here, right down here, aiming potentially to get up here and off the map. So this puts up a little bit of a block, and I think that'll block him in from there. But now he's got his flank exposed, which I think will be okay. But we're going to try to reposition the 2nd New York, I believe that is. So they're going to turn and then turn again for 1, 2, and turn, 3, 4, and then final turn back to there. Give them a little bit of flank defense. And then we've got these units over here. His unit is going to turn and just advance over here to provide cover. And I think he is going to move over to there. So one more unit back here. Well, I'd like to have him right there, but obviously there's a unit not of the same command in his spot. And I don't really want to have them here or here to give them a little bit of room. Well, I think Hood's brigades up here are going to be driving this way. They're not going to try to wedge that way. So he's going to actually turn, go into here for 2, because there's woods there. Up here for 3, 4. Turn again and go. Actually, just which way? There, that way. Turn again to there. I think they'll stop right there. So that gets a tower in place in a blocking position and a little bit out of range for at least the first activation. They won't be attacked. Next one is Stills over here. And now with them, they're going to try to do a brigade change orders. This is a little bit daring here, but if Texans do break through, which I believe they're going to do, I find it very hard for them to be stopped by collapsed units. If they break through there, they're going to need to counterattack. So they're going to attempt to change orders. Now, Stills is a normal, and his modifier is 0. Brigade order rating is 0. So there's no modifiers on this. So he's going to need a 5 or a 6 to change his order. 5 to change and stand, and then 6 plus to change and be able to do something. So here we go. Roll a 0, which is going to be retain and stand. So they are not doing anything. They're just stopped right there. And of course the guns will go with them. And those guns were staying there as well. They're not moving because they need to provide some sort of defense on there. So Stills didn't get to change, and they retain there. So that's all for Ricketts. Let's go to the next chit. Next one is Sykes. Sykes, that's going to be Bendick's brigade over here. So they're over here. They're in a good position to keep Evans occupied. I don't think they need to do anything because Knowles is behind them, and so is Harden. So I think they are just going to take some pot shots at these guys over here. I think the 5th New York, there are 6 factors, are going to shoot into here. Of course, the South Carolinians will respond. So it's going to be 6 against 3. And then both of them are standing, so they'll get prep fire. So they each get at least plus. But they're disrupted, so they will not get it. So let's see. Let's go with the 5th New York. They are rifles, disordered, so there's no modifier. And then the South Carolinians are muskets, disordered, so it's just a +1 modifier for them. So there's no woods or anything else. So it's going to be 6 with no modifier, 3 with a +1. So the Union gets a, so they're on the 6, they get a 6, which is a D +2. And the Confederates, they're on a 3 with a +1, 9, goes up to 10, 1D +2. Ooh. So that hurt a little bit. So let's take the one off here. So they go down to a 5. No leader, so there's no leader lost there. But now we got to do the morales. Both are a +2. 5th New York is a 5, and the South Carolinians are a 6. So 0 +2 is 2, and 1 +2 is 3. So they don't, excuse my arm there, they don't disrupt on there at all. And now the other unit underneath them can also fire, and they're low ammo. So they'll be 4 with a, come on here, they are muskets. So they didn't move as well. So they got a +2 for muskets, -2 for low ammo, is nothing. But they get the prep fire, so +1. 4 with a +1. So 3, 4. Small D on the Union, 5th New York. Small D, they're okay. So it takes care of them. These guys up here, they're pretty far away. Oh, they got muskets. They're pretty far away, so they're not going to do anything. And there, so that's all for Sykes. Next is going to be Reynolds. Wow, a lot of Union. Confederates are probably going to get the last and get the push. So, with Hardin's troops, let's just take a peek at them here. We have the artillery. Oh, he can fire. That would be good. And then they're in a covered state, so they are 5. And they are 3. Okay. So I think we'll start with the artillery firing 1, 2, 3 canister range over to the 4th Texas. So they're a 6. They are Napoleons at a range of 3. That will be a +1. Not in woods or anything else. So it's going to be a 6 on a +1. Oops, wrong days, but that's okay. 6. 5 + 1 is 6. D +2. Okay, D +2 on 4th Texas. Texas is a 6. Dicewell gets a +2. They are fine. Okay, so they fired. Now the units. They can't engage because they can't. But they could move up if need be. I think one of them needs to. They're all muskets, aren't they? Okay. Well, I think because he's disordered, he's going to withdraw 1, 2, and that's fine. And then he's going to move up 1, turn, and then go into here for 2. He's going to stay here and guard the guns. And I think he's going to come over here so we can rally him next turn, or next activation. Okay. That's all for Reynolds. It's kind of sidebar issues at the moment. Really haven't seen for the center. Okay, here we go. Here is Schwartz. So that's going to be Knowles up here. And he's in a position to potentially attack if he can. Now he's a tough one over here. I don't know if you can see him. Let me move up a little bit. And you can see he's a C and a -1 on the change of orders. But I'm going to try to do it. Otherwise, he's got not much else to do. So, change of orders. Right over here again. So, 5 changes orders and stands, 6 changes or 6 plus changes orders. Now there's no division and brigade, and his rating is a -1, so everything shifts up 1 to see if he gets it. So let's see, he changes to attack. Oh no, he gets a 0. He retains and stands, so he doesn't do anything. Okay, so that keeps them out of the battle at the moment. Up here he is again. So let's try that one more time. Can he change his orders? Another 0. He doesn't. Alright, he's trying to encourage the men, but not happening. So let's see who's next. Okay, now we got a Confederate. We've got Kemper. Okay. We've got Kemper here, ready to attack. So here we go. Let's get Hutton moving into attack. 1, you'd have to stop. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that would be good. So he's going to go 1, turn, 2, and then into there for 3. He can't do a facing change because he's in the front with Hood's brigade. So he's going to fire into there. So it's going to be 7 against 7. They're rifles, so it's +1 for each. He's got +2, or he's got 1 more plus because of the prep fire. So both 7s going after each other. Here we go. Ooh, high rolls on both. So the Confederates get a 8, +1 is 9, is a 1D. Union get a 9, +1, 2 is a 2D. Alright, so both of them really hit each other hard. So 1D for the Union. And then there's 2D for the Confederates. Down to 6. Okay. So the next one up, I think it's got to be these Virginians. 1, turn, 2, and then 3. And they're going to exchange fire. They're in woods. Or should they just charge them? It's going to be bad. 8. So they'll be +1, -1, 0. They'll be +2. They'll be +2 no matter what. I think they're going to have to just... whoops, wrong side. Charge. I found my charge markers. Here we go. So they'll line up for a charge. I'm just marking that for now, just to remind me. And now the other ones here, 1, 3. There's no way I can get 2. Yeah, 3. No way I can really get them up there, but actually what I could do, these guys are going to come down 1, 2, and I'll go with them into the charge. Actually, I should put that over here for now. And then over here, we're going to do 1, 2, and now they'll take a shot into McLean's units here. It's a flank shot, so this is going to be a tough one on the Union. It's going to be 7 with a +1. No return fire possible. Oh, and it's flank shot, so there's another +1, so there's going to be 7 with a +2. 7, ooh, so that makes 9. That's going to be a 1D. Let's see here. Yeah, they're already disrupted, so they're going to get 2 losses, and that will collapse them, which means they're pretty much in trouble. And even more bad news. So they got a 1D down to 3, and then the D, they lose 1, and they have to retreat 1 to 2 hexes. Now, the way they're set up, they can't, because that hex is a frontal hex for this guy. So they're going to have to lose another step, and because they are collapsed, they're down to 1. They've got to take a UDD. So I've got them down to 1. Just get back in camera here for a minute. So here they are over here. They are a 4. Oh, I should have gotten McLean to see if he was wounded. Let me do that first. And he's okay. Okay, if we can help. So their cohesion is a 4. Helped makes it 5. But let's see what happens. 6. So they rout. They go off the board. Okay. They've routed off there. Now McLean, I believe, oh, I've got to look that up here. Hang on. Okay, I'm back again. Yep, I just confirmed what I thought. He just moves to the nearest friendly unit, which is going to be his neighbor right there. Alright, so he moves up from here, 1, 2, started here. So that'd be 1, 2. He could move 3, but I think I'm going to keep him there just to give Hood's brigade the chance to go after the other ones and kind of rush that way. Okay, who else we got? We got 2 more of these units here, or actually the leaders, and 1 more unit. So he is going to come up 1 and come in here 2, 3, for some flank support to these guys charging into here. And I think Hutton is going to have to go with the charging units here, leading the charge into him, or into the Union Tower Brigade. That's going to be a tough fight, but we'll see how it goes. Let's see, there's 7, there's 6. Okay. Could try to stiffen up the attack over here by using Kemper. I could charge them as well. Well, it's last turn, so let's go for it. Kemper's moving up there to Stiffen that attack. All right. Next, we have Corse and Jenkins to, or excuse me, now we've got the, what am I thinking? We've got the shock attacks for Hutton. So I think we're going to have shock attack here, shock attack there, of course, with him charging into there. So they're designated, right? So now, question is, do they want to retreat before shock? Yeah, they got to preserve the line as best they can. They're going to retreat before shock. Move up here. Now they have to take a cohesion check, and they're a 4. 9. They fail. So they, it's a second disorder. Excuse me, second disorder. So they take another cohesion test to see if they route or not. And roll a 6. Oh, they routed too. Oh, that's not good. So they're gone. Okay, they have routed. Let's see, I need to have the shock counter in here just to remember for unit advancement. And then these guys are charging against tower. So they're going to be 14 against 8. Now they can get some pretty good firepower on them. Rifled, +1. Prepared fire. That will disorder them because otherwise they're going to move up the flank on them. But they are charging, so they'll get a +1 in the attack. Well, if they fall back, they can advance. He's in trouble at that point. All right, they are going to try to hold, so this will continue on with the shock. So we will move on to green commitment. There's no green commitment. Defender pre-cohesion test. So we've got to check them, which is going to be 6 +1 for tower being there, so they're 7. And they pass. All right, so they're good. Now, reaction fire. So now tower can fire back. So they've got 7, a +2. So it'll be 7 with a +2 for the firing. 7 + 3 makes 5, so they're going to be low on ammo. D +1. Oh, that's pretty good for the Confederates because they're really strong on the with the cohesion. So Hutton is there. He can help out. So it's going to be D +1. Excuse me. On the top guy, he's 6 +1 is 7 with a +1 on the dice. So 7 +1, 3, 4. So they're okay. All right. So here come the Virginians. Let's take a look at the calculations here. So we've got Hutton leading and 14 against 8, which is going to be 3-2 odds. So that'll get them a +1 on the dice roll for the attacker. It's not flank attack. I should show you here. It's not flank attack. They're not demoralized. Defender demoralized. They do get the odds of +1. It is a charge plus another +1, so that makes 2. Not aggressive leader. It's not in slope. Defender, attacker is not demoralized. The terrain, he is in woods, so I believe, if I remember correctly, yes, it's a -1 for woods. So the +2 goes down to a +1. Odds ratio is not in the defender's favor. There is an attacker. Advance orders, no. No, okay. So it's a +1 on the shock attack for the Confederates. So let's see what comes up. They roll an 8, +1 is 9. Defending unit retreats 1 hex and is disordered. Attacker must continue shock. All right, so let's move this out. So defender is disordered. Or excuse me, defender retreats 1 hex. He'll go, I think he'll go over there. Retreats 1 hex and is disordered, like so. So the attacker may continue. The charge comes off. Okay, so now we have advance. So at this point, this can come off, and they can advance 1 hex, like so. And I think, yeah, they'll stay facing the way they want. They can do 1 vertex change, but we're not going to do it. Second one over here, now they can do continued shock. Pivot. Ooh, this is interesting because they could come forward, pivot, but now they're going to have 17 against 14. One in front, one on the flank. Right. So let's see, these guys were here like so. All right. So what do I want to do? I could pivot them around. I won't get a positioning attack because the other guys in front, and of course they can reaction turn 1 hex to there, so it'll be a side attack on them as they come in. Or do I just drive against them? Yeah, I think they're just going to go straight ahead, like so. And there, Hutton is going to go there. They will continue the attack. Okay, so this will be a continued attack. So again, there's only 1 designated shock. That's okay. There's no retreat before shock. No green commitment. Defender doesn't have to pre-shock cohesion test, but they do need to. They do get a chance to fire. So now they are disordered though, and they're low ammo. So there's going to be come on. There's going to be no. Oh, let's stay there. There we go. There will be no positive modifiers, +1, -1, and then -2 for the low ammo. So it's going to be 7 with a -2. I get a 7 down to 5. Oh, another ammo. They're out of ammo now. D +1, but they are out of ammo. And they're in very problematic. So D +1 on them. So Hutton helps out. They again were 6 +1 is 7. +1 on the dice. They're okay. So the attack still continues forward. So it's going to be, again, it's a 14 against 8. So it's going to be a +1. So +1 for the odds. There's no charge this time. But the defender's demoralized. +2. Terrain is still woods, so it'll be -1. And each successive attack, so -2 So 2 minus 2, so 0. So there's no modifiers for the attack. They roll a 2. Standoff. Each side is disordered. Both sides are disordered. So for the Union, that's a second disorder. And they'll lose a, let's see, second disorder, sorry, I just need to check. Second disorder on a shock attack. They need to do a cohesion test. Their 4 plus 1 is 5. They fail it, they will rout. So he's out of here. His low ammo comes off. Shock stays on. Tower flees over to this unit here. Or you could go forward to this unit. I think he's got to go back. This unit's in trouble. Well, actually, he's got to go to the closest unit. I'm sorry. So he's got to go to this one. Shock attack comes off. Both disrupted. So they're disrupted and they're disrupted. So they can advance, which one unit will. This one will advance. I think Hutton will stay back here. He'll advance. He's going to turn. Technically not in the frontal hexes, so he could turn around. Now the other unit, I'm going to have to check on this because this is a little strange here. I will be back with you in just... Okay, I'm back. Just checking that. Yes, both of them have to advance into here. So they will advance like so. And then it comes to the post shock attack disorders. So both of these units will take, actually they'll pivot because they do have their pivot on there as well. So they're going to also lose 1 strength point. 6 and 5 for the second disruption on a post shock attack. Okay, so they're up into there and he's with them. They're like that, backs to each other. Okay, so Kemper, that's all for Hutton. So now Course is an interesting position here. He's going to move up. These units are going to move up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, turn 6, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, turn 6. There's back here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'll wind up there as well. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Course will go right here. Potentially line up an attack on Tower. What's left of Tower, and who is it? The 9th New York. Okay. Okay, and lastly is here. There we go. Jenkins. They don't have a gap they can go through. It'd be nice to drive them up there, but there's no gap yet, so they'll go. You stack 1, 2, 3. I think stop there. And then 1, 2, 3. Stop there. Oh, and the guns. They will turn and go 2, 4, 6, 8 to there. Okay, that's all for Kemper. Pretty good attack. Still got a chance. They've got 2 more chits. So we'll see. Hood. Oh, comes out. So Hood's first. He's got to go for the ridge over here. So first off, he's going to turn like that. He can do that in front. And I think they're just, they're not going to charge, but they're just going to shock. I'm not going to, well, can I shoot at him? Oh, they're not on the ridge. Okay, well, that's okay. They're in the way. That's not a victory hex. These two are. Oh, even more precarious. But he pivots. He's got a shock this way. He's got to attack that way. Don't want to go after those guns. Those are Napoleons. With canister, we'll crush them. So let's back this up a minute. I'm going to turn him back. Actually, I'm going to go with these guys first. They have low ammo. They're only 2. Alright, they're going to shoot at them. So it's going to be 7. They are disrupted, so there's no modifiers. And for the Union, it's 2. -2 for the low ammo. So I doubt if they'll get anything, but let's see. Oh yeah, Union's -2. That's nothing. 7 on the 7 card D. So that's a second disruption for this unit. Which means a step loss and retreat. Now they'll go down to 1. So they're at 1, and they have to, whoops, there we go. Because they're collapsed, they're going to have to do a UDD. 4, and they fail, so they rout. So they're collapsed, and they routed off the board. Ammo comes off. So now they can continue their advance. So they'll go 2 to there. And he can pivot and do a reaction. No, he can't because they're in the way. Never mind. He can't pivot. Not yet. They're going against howitzers. Equally as tough. Yeah, +2 at 1 hex. Alright, it's going to be worse if he gets up there, though. If he goes forward into that, he will no doubt be blasted by canister. And he could turn and fire up there. He'll have a -2. That's still pretty potent, especially when they're already disrupted. But they've got to occupy that hex. All right. 1, 2, they're moving forward. All right, so he's going to shoot back, or he's going to do reaction fire at that point, because now we can see him. Ooh, this is going to be brutal. So 6, they're howitzers with a +2. So here we go. Ooh, 1 + 2 is 3, small d. So that's just a small d, so it's a 6. We're off 5, they're okay. Brave that canister, but they will pivot in reaction. And equation check, they're fine, so they can shoot. Now this is going to be 6 here. They're Napoleons, which is a +3, +4, excuse me. So +4, but they pivoted, so it's going to be a -2 for movement. So down 2. Actually, this should give them the opportunity to pivot like that. There we go. So it's going to be a +2. So it's going to be on the 6 column with a +2. 6 is 2 is 8. 1d +2. All right, so they take a hit. So they go down to they take a step loss. Or a strength loss, I should say, not step. And it's a d +2. They're a 6. +2 on the dice. 7. Second disruption. Lose another one. Drop to a 5. They've got to retreat. No, they can go back there for 1. So that's not a frontal hex. Alright. Well, they did enter the hex. They didn't stay there very long. So they're out. Alright. Am I gonna... Now this guy, what do I want to do? I think I want to activate this guy. He's still on attack, so it'd be 2, 3, and he'll be up there. Okay, that's good. And now, oh wait a minute, he's only got 2 movement points, so he can only go to there. Same with him, he's only got 2 movement points. I think he'll turn and go 1 to there. Turn back. So I'm a little bit closer. Protecting that flank. Now we'll go after these guys. They got low ammo. Firing. I think we will fire at them. Yes, they will fire at them. So it's going to be 7 against 2. They are collapsed. They're not low ammo though. They're just collapsed. Okay, so that's going to be 7 with a +1, +2, but -2, 7 is going to get 0. Confederates, and they're going to be 0 for the Union. So on the 7 and on the 2, straight up. The Confederates get a 3, which is a D. Union gets a 5, which is a D, and they have low ammo. I'll wait there. I'll see if they survive. So D's on both. Union cohesion's 4. Confederates are 8. Ooh, Confederates are okay, and so is the Union. 79th Ohio, so let's put that -2 low ammo on there. And those 100 men are still in the fight. They're still in the fight. Okay, so most likely they're going to have to shock them now. Get them away from there. Now the other one we have is Hood himself. These units are going to pivot like this and go 1, and these will pivot like that. He is stuck, and now it's going to get the full brunt of Hood's Georgians taking a shot at him. Now he can fire back with his unit. It's going to be 4. So they'll be 4 plus 5 is 9. They're -2. They moved, so they're going to be on the 7 column, rifled but moved, so it's -1. They will be 4 -1, but they're shooting through the flank, so it'll be plus. Oh, wait a minute. How am I going to do this here? Yeah, they'll be firing through the flank, so they'll be +1, so it's going to be 0. And then they'll be 4 plus 1 plus 2. All right. So 7 with a plus 0, 4 with a plus 2. So 7 with a 2, D -1, and they are 4. Ooh, they scored a 1D. Ooh, that hurts. Let's just balance the lines out here. So they'll take the hit here. They are disrupted. Oops. Alright, and they're going to be a D -1, and they are cohesion of 6. +1 for McLean. 7 with a -1. They're okay. Alright, so now Hood. Where's Hood gonna go? Hood's gonna go right here. And now we have some shocks. Shock attack there. And actually both will shock attack there. Alright, so retreats for combat. Definitely, most definitely. These guys are gonna, oops, leave that on there. Oh, we just destroyed my stack. These guys are gonna come back to there. And we'll get Hood all straightened out again. Dangers of large stacks. Here we go. And the cohesion goes right in there, or the shock attack goes right in there. So they moved away. Don't want to face that attack. Same with this one. They are going to move away. Now they will have to take a cohesion test. So let's do that over here. So they are a 4. They passed. So they'll wind up on top of the artillery. Right there. Like that. So now the advance. So taking this off now. They will advance. And I think they'll pivot. Face that way. Goes on there. And then here, they were shocking that hex, so You can go right ahead into there. Pushing them back. Pushing them back. So there's hoods. And let's see, now we've got Evans over here. And Evans wants to move his unit up. Alright, he's gonna move back across the river. So it'll be 1, 2, 3 over to there. Okay. If they pull back, that'll be 1. Alright, so they're gonna get rid of their extended line and actually wind up over here for 1. And they'll cross the river for 2, 2, 3 into there. Do they want to do some shooting? They're muskets. They don't want to do any shooting. Low ammo. They're 5. 0. They're 6. Actually, you know what? Evans is going to. I don't know. Stay there. I think. Can't get ammunition there. I'd like to drive them back a little bit. Cause a bit of confusion. So they're 5. They're 7. They're on a hill. So they're not going to really do anything. Shooting has not been too good for them either, but well, let's take shots. Last turn. Both sides will shoot. So we've got 3 plus 2 minus 1. Plus 2 for the muskets, minus 1 for the disordered. So plus 1. They will be 5 with a plus 1 for muskets, minus 1 for disorder. So they're straight up 5. So 3 plus 1, 5. Straight up. So 3 with a 3, 4. D minus 1 and a miss. So D minus 1 on 5th New York, which is 6 or 5. Dice roll gets a 6. They're fine. Now the other one below them, the 4, they'll shoot there as well. So there'll be 4 with a musket. But low ammo, so it's 0. Plus 1 for prep fire. So 4 with plus 1. Ooh, an 8. Makes it a 9. 1D plus 2. Ooh, that's good. So he reduces to. Oh, he should collapse. Sorry, he should have been collapsed. He will be now. He's half his strength. And with him collapsed, he needs to take another cohesion test, or UDD. See if he routes, and he does. So he runs away. And potentially, this guy could still move. And he's going to move up and turn 1, 2. Okay, that ends Hood's turn. And next, Schneck. I'm going to pause you here for a couple minutes, and we'll be right back with. Okay, we're back with continuation of the final turn, playthrough of the 160th anniversary 2nd Manassas. Working on the next AM, which is Schneck, which is these units here and him over here. So, the question is, what do we do with them? So we've had 2 that have routed. We've got 2 that are left. Now they can pivot and fire if they wanted to. Yeah, I think they are. They're going to pivot like that and fire at Kemper. So that is considered movement. So, but they'll return fire, of course. So there'll be, well, they're disordered anyways. 5 rifle disordered, cancel each other out, and there'll be 5 against 6. So here we go. 5 against 6. So the Union gets, they're on 5, gets a D, 6, 1D plus 2 for the Confederates. Alright, so Confederates, they'll drop them to a 4. And that'll collapse them as well. That's not good. But okay. So it's a D plus 2 for them, and a D for the Confederates. Kemper raises their cohesion to 7. So that will help them. They roll a 9. Ooh, that's good. 5. So they take a second disruption. We'll drop to 3. They've got to do a route test. And then Kemper, I should say the 18th Virginia fails, so they get a double disruption. They lose a strength point and have to retreat 1 hex. They'll go back to there. Kemper goes with them. Now these other ones over here, the 41st New York, they need to do another cohesion test. See if they route. Oh, they routed. Collapsed with another loss. So they route. Okay, so these guys. I don't know what they'll do. 4. -2. They're going to try to withdraw. So they're going to go back here for 2. Now they do have withdrawal fire first. So that would be both of these hexes. So it's going to be 4 and 4. It's 8, but it's only maximum. No, it'll be 8 because they're 2 firing. So 8, 2 hexes that is. It's a +1, +2, +1 for the rifles, +2 for the prep, -2 for the low ammo. So it's going to be on the 8 column here. 4. Small d. So the McLean is with them, so they get a +1. There's 7. They're fine. So they make the retreat into at least the first hex. They do need to roll for disruption here. There's 7 still. The +1. Right? They're okay. So they can move a second hex if they wish. And I think they wish to get them back out of harm's way. Okay. That takes care of them. Now this unit here. He can retreat. But if he does that, so I think this unit is going to just get rid of his out of command marker. Stay there for now. They will well, no, they won't use their command marker. They will actually move underneath the artillery unit. So they'll retain all of this, but they'll move the artillery unit be on top, like so. Okay. So that's all of Schneck's first activation. Moving on to the next one, Reynolds' second activation. So Reynolds up here is in an interesting position. They can potentially attack if he makes a good roll. He's a 0. He's going to try brigade change, try to flank attack them over there. So they need a, he is 0, so there's no modifiers. He needs a 5 or a 6. Rolls a 1, retain and stand. So he is done. Alright. I was looking to try to get them moving. Try this marker can come off. Still a pretty close game. I think the Confederates have a slight edge. Hood comes on for a second activation. So with that, Hood is going to what? He can now move up and attack. He's got clear sailing up there. They can move forward. Alright, so they're going to move forward 1, 2, and turn. They're still out of command. The 4th Texas, they're going to actually try to recover. There are 6. They need 6 or less. Roll an 8. Don't make it. If I should try it with, try to recover with him as well. I think so. The 5th Texas is going to try to recover. They make it. They needed a 6 or less. They made it. So now, the Texas here. They're right in front of the guns. They're going to get blasted with them no matter what. So they may as well charge the guns. They're so close. And then Hood's Georgians, they gotta move up. They'll go 1. Yeah. Two into there. And they'll go 1, 3 into there. Alright, and then we'll be firing at different units. I'm not sure where Hood will wind up yet. But, actually, ooh, 14. Yeah. These guys will combine 4 and 4. I think they've got to combine to get the larger attack against Stills. So that's going to be 8. +1 for rifles, -1 for disordered, -1 for wood. So -1 for the Confederates. Stills is going to be 7. And they are rifles, so +1, and then +1 for, yeah, so 7 +1, 7 +2 for the Union, and 8 plus nothing, -1 for the Confederates. Oh, that hurts. So 0 -1 is a D -2. Oh, no, it's nothing. And for the Union, they have a 1D against the Georgians. Okay. So they'll drop to 3. They're already disrupted, so they're going to take another hit. And they'll have to retreat back to there. I'll come back to here. Okay, so Hood is going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 up with the 1st Texas. Go after them. Try to knock them off. Alright, so the shock is going to be over here. Retreat before shock. Artillery can't retreat before shock. The infantry could, but they're going to try to help make a stand. So they're going to stay there. So green, and now defenders pre-cohesion test. So that's going to be the infantry for the Union, or actually the guns. There are 7. 4, they're okay. Okay, sorry about that. So yeah, they are fine. So now they get to shoot back. So the artillery is going to take the shot. So they're going to be 6. Oh, they might do a rapid fire too. They might do a rapid fire, Napoleons. And Napoleons can do a rapid fire, so they get 2 shots. So they're going to do rapid fire. They may deplete their ammo, but at this point they need to do anything. So they are on the 6th column. +4 for the attack. And that's it. So it's going to be a 6 with a +4 to 6. So the first one is a D +2. Let's see how they get. Hood is there, so they go up to 10. There's a +2 on the dice. So 10 with a +2 on the dice. Okay, they're fine. So first shot misses. Second shot, again, is a 6 with a +4. 3 makes 7. That is a D, so they disrupted them. But that's not going to be enough to stop them, I don't think. Alright, so they're still coming on the attack. Now at this point, the guns only have a minor factor into it. The infantry are still there. So it'll be 9 against, the guns will give 1 factor, and then the infantry is 2 more, so 3. So it's a 3 to 1. So that will be a +3 on the Confederate side. Union unit is demoralized or disordered, so +4. It's not a charge. It's not down a slope. I just need to check on Hood. Hood is aggressive, so it's another +1. So 1, 2, 5. Terrain is not a factor. Attacker is disordered, so that's going to bring him down to 4. And that's it. So +4 on the attack. Oh, goes a 1, 5. Defending unit retreats 1 hex and is disordered. Okay, so the guns are disordered, and there'll be a loss, but he's disordered, has to retreat 1 hex. Retreats 1 hex and disordered. So they've got to retreat here. Let's put this right there for the moment. And he's disordered. Now, this is a second disordered. He's got to take a cohesion test. He is a 4. He fails. He's routed. I figured he was probably not long for this battle. So they run. Gets rid of a few extra counters. Now the artillery is stuck there, and they're going to be abandoned. Like that. And now the Confederates can advance into the shock hex. Or they have to. They will take a strength loss for the end of shock. 8. So they're down 1. And they're on there, here on there, and they're on there. And Hood is pushing hard. Alright, shock comes off. Okay, so there's Hood's second. Heavy fighting for that edge of the ridge. Okay, next turn. It is Sykes. Sykes back here. So that's Bendix. He's lost the 5th New York. They routed. He will pivot. And I don't think he'll do anything other than pivot. Just because they're in a precarious position. And their real job is just to hold back Evans. Next, Hood. This is Hood's 3rd. Alright, so actually Evans is done. He can't do any more. He's out of command. So that gets rid of his out of command. Hood, conversely, Hood has an opportunity here. He is facing like that. We'll get the stack in order here. There we go. Alright. Wow. Alright, they're in a good position. Alright, I'd like to have him come up. This is the third turn. Shock attacked once. I think actually I'm going to take this turn to potentially get guys back in good order. So this guy here, he's going to try to recover. He's a 6. He's a 6 or less. Doesn't get it. Oh, that hurts. He's in good shape. This other one, the 4th Texas, they need a 6 or less. They get it, so they're back in good shape. Okay, these guys can't recover. Well, I do think he needs to turn his facing this way. Actually, that way, right like that. I don't want to tempt fate against those artillery there. It's +3. Not yet. Hood's Hex, they are gonna try to recover. So they're 6. Hood makes them 8, but there's a +1 on the dice for being next to units. So it's going to be 8 with +1. They recover. Now, I would have loved to have them get ammo, but they're next to enemy units, so they can't recover ammo. Alright, so that's all of them. Now they did move, so they will incur fatigue. Should have taken that before. Okay, so I'll go up to fatigue 1. That's gonna, I don't know if that's gonna hurt quite as much right now. Hood seems to be in a commanding spot. That's all for Hood. His 3rd. Next, Sykes again. Alright, Sykes. He's still in a good position. Gonna try to tempt fate. That's not really gonna do anything. I'm just gonna leave Sykes alone. He really doesn't have much to do with the battle. It's really over here. Waiting for more of Schwartz to come out again. There should be one more Schwartz. Yeah, here's a Ricketts. That's 1, 2, 2nd Ricketts. So this will get interesting because now here is Ricketts' response. So we've got Stills. So I think with Stills, they're next to him now. They can pivot. They could shock him in advance. He's 8, they're 21. All right, we're gonna have to think about that and come back. So we'll take a break and come back in a bit. Okay, coming back to the action here. After a little bit of thought with Styles per Ricketts activation over here, Styles is not going to attempt to change his brigade orders. He's going to stay as is and try to do an advance assault which is a tricky proposition, but in this case I think it works out better because we do have the firepower here between the artillery shooting first and the two units, the 13th Massachusetts and the 11th Pennsylvania over here. I think they can knock them out and push them back. So we're going to start off here first with the 5th Maine Artillery, the howitzers there, taking a shot at Hood's units. Now they are an H6, which means they're 6-pound howitzer. They'll have a +2 on Hood's units. So it's going to be a 6 with a +2. Oh, not very good. 1 + 2 is 3, yields a D. Now I'm not sure if that can do anything because Hood's units here, yeah, Hood units, Hood's command, I should say, will prevent them from getting anything. All right, so they did not hit them, and actually I think they're going to try to do a. Actually, I should have announced this before, but that's okay because it's so close. They're going to rapid fire, which gets them a second shot. Goes 8 with a +2 makes 10. Now the rapid fire means that they're low ammo, so they do get a 1D on them, but they are now low on ammo, or out of ammo, I should say. With the updated rules, they'll go straight out of ammo. Okay, so now we're going to have, well, the 12th Massachusetts, they can't move up because they're in advance orders. But these two, the Styles and the 13th, they'll just turn sideways over here and wind up facing them like that. And they're going to shock attack. So we're just going to go straight into the shock. Try to go after them here. So the shock attacks have been designated. The retreat. Do they want to retreat before the attack? It's a good question. He is actually blocking them right now. So they're actually okay, but that means if they retreat, they can get the guns back. But they won't be able to recrew them. If they stay there and take the attack, they're gonna get flanked. Yeah, it's not good. I think they're gonna have to retreat. Even though it's a advance attack, there's still a good chance of them getting hurt and being not able to use their last activation. So they are going to retreat back to there. Goes on there, and that of course ends the shock. So now they are going to advance. I think what we're going to do is have Styles come up to there, and I'll go into there like so. Now they've got back into the hex with the guns. Now I think the recrewing takes a whole turn. Oh no, they can recrew. Yeah, so they can recrew. So they lose the marker. So that's gone. And now they are still disordered, and they'll stay that way. Alright, and they have to stay that way until the next turn. But given that's the it's the second Ricketts. Yeah, they can't do anything on there. So that basically ends Styles' attack. So now we have Tower over here, who's in a very tough predicament. He has his 2 units, and they need to protect the road up here somehow. He can pivot, and do they want to try to change orders? I don't think so. I think they are just going to try somehow to keep course from getting off the board here. So first off, this one, unit here, going to do a free turn, and then turn 1 and go 2, and then into the woods, 3, 4, make a turn, and hold out there. Tower himself, let's see, they're all under advance. He's under attack. He's actually going to pivot. He's not in the front hex of anybody, but he's beside them. But he's going to pivot sideways here, I think. I don't know if they can pivot all the way around. If they can, that would be nice, but I have a feeling that they can't. Yeah, it's adjacent to a unit. They can only pivot once. So he's going to pivot like that. And that'll be it. So that's all for Ricketts. So we'll move on to the next one, which is going to be Schneck. That's going to be his second. So we have McLean, which I think he's the only one left. Yeah, 5 of them are off the board. So he's actually just going to pivot to hold his ground, just so they don't try to get around him there somehow. So that should give him plenty of capabilities to stop them. So that's all for Schneck, and that's a woods hex, so he can't shoot. Okay, moving onward. We have the next one is Jones. Okay, Jones is just off camera here. Pivot you down a little bit. I'm not sure if he's going to be a factor, but this is his first one. So the question is, where do I want to position him? I think we'll have him come up behind Hood here. So we'll take Benning first. These guys are on the road, so they will go 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 into there. That gets them a little bit closer. And then Benning's units will go 1, 2, 4, 5. One more will come up here. So that's 14 in there and 7 back there. Okay, and next we'll have Anderson, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'll turn 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'll follow along with them. these guys here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then Anderson will wind up with them, I think. And the guns. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8. And then Drayton here will go 2, 3, 4, 5. And in with the guns for 6. And these guys will go 2, 4, 5, 6. Drayton will go along with them. And Jones will wind up right there. Okay, so they'll try to support Hood a little bit. More like occupying, keeping the flank set if possible. Next one, Kemper. So this is Kemper's second. So he's an interesting one because he needs, let's reposition a little bit. He needs to keep pressing the attack. I think try to move up here. I don't want to need to get him out of the way. Need to get him out of the way. So I think first off, he's going to go 2 to there. That'll put him on his flank. No matter, Tower's in tough shape. No matter what he does. I think he will reaction turn a little bit. Back that way. Needs to do a cohesion. Gets a 5. He's a 6, 7. So he's okay. So he reacts. He's going to fire on them. It's still going to be a flank shot. So that's going to be starting with 7. +1 for the rifles. -1 for the woods. +1 for the flank. So it's a 7 with a +1. 4 makes it 5. Low ammo. D +1. So he's going to get a low ammo. He's going to get a D +1. We had said before he's a 6. +1 for 7. And a +1 on the dice roll. He's fine. No effect, but that'll take care of them. Next, I've got these 2 units who have shocked already. They'll come up. If they go up to there, that's going to be 2. Attack him. He can pivot. Alright, so they're going to move up, and Hutton is going to go with them. Hutton, I should say. So, let's see, like that, there we go. He's going to pivot, see if UDD is 5. He pivots, okay. Okay. I think they're just going to shock attack him. No firing. So he winds up with the attack marker right there, I suppose. So that's those 2. We've got these guys back here. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it's going to be blocked. 1, 2. Okay, so I think. Kemper, I think this guy, the 18th Virginia, is going to move up and out of the way to there, and then he's going to go 1, 2. Oh, they can't move into there. Shoot. Well, he can move up to there for 3. Yeah, I guess Kemper's going to go back over here. For now. Okay, so with this, we've got a couple of shock attacks. We're going to have this one, and we're going to have this one. Now with this one, because they moved, he's now out of the way, and that's not a front hex, it's a flank hex. We could technically retreat. Doesn't leave him in great stead, but I just check on that here for a minute. I can't. Yes, so that is a legal move. So I think he's going to retreat before shock. So he gets to go back into here. And that's open for advancement by him. Doesn't really help him a bit, but does keep him kind of in the way. These guys over here are not going to retreat, so they'll stay there. They'll take their UDD 5 or less. They roll a 6, so they disrupted. Now they'll do their firing, so they'll be rifles disordered. So that'll put them and into woods on a -1. So it's going to be 7 minus 1. Still a good roll. 8. It's a D on Hutton's group here. So top unit takes the hit, second disorder. It's a another strength loss for them, so they'll drop down to 6. Yeah. And then have to retreat. There we go. 6. Yeah, so on the fire table, let's see here. Just take a look at this again. Yeah, retreat 1 or 2 hexes. So they've got to go back. Yeah, 1 to there. And then, yeah, I think they'll stay right there. Now, the other unit, yeah, but yeah, there's 2 units in there. So now the bottom unit needs to check a UDD. There are 5 with a +1 for Hutton is 6. 6 or less. Roll a 6, so they're okay. So they can hang into the attack. They're 5. It's not as exciting, but they're still going in. So now the attack is 5 against 9. That's going to be it's going to be a negative odds benefit. So they're disordered. So it's a +1 on the for the Confederates. Odds ratios, it's -1, so it's going to be 0 again. No charge, no aggressive leader. It's not downslope. It is into woods, so it's going to be a terrain modification for the defenders, a -1. There we go. -1 over here. And they're also disordered, so it's -2. Ew, this is not going to be a great one for the Confederates. So -2 on the dice roll. 5 drops to 3. Standoff. Both sides are disordered. All right. So that's a second disorder. They take the Union takes a second disorder on the shock table. They need to do another UDD. Each one will do a UDD actually. Go to the Union first. Rolls a 3. They're okay, but they will lose 1 strength and retreat a hex. So let's see, put a shock marker there, and they'll retreat back into there. Hutton's units, they're a 5/6, second disorder. Roll a 0, they're okay. They'll lose a strength point. So they drop down to 4, and they'll have to retreat back as well. They'll go into there. And the cohesion, shock comes off. All right, so pushed them back, kind of mixed results. Oh, this guy over here needs to move up to there. But they've got them moving back. Now, Corse and Jenkins. Corse is going to try to move his units forward here. So they're going to go 2, and then 4 to there. Let's see, that goes back there. Then they can't move in. They go into attack. Yeah. 2, 4. That's as far as they can go. And then he can't move adjacent, so he's got to go up here as well. So these 2 units are up here. Yeah. And then these guys will go 2, 3, 4. End up right behind him. And I'll go behind him as well. That's all for Corse. Jenkins. Jenkins wants a breakthrough, but I don't think he's going to get it. So I think for now he's just going to go up 1. 1, 2, 3. Like so. Okay. That's it for Kemper. And next we have Schwartz. So this is the last one for them. So this is Nolte over here. Nolte's. They've got to try. It's not much they can do unless they can get into an attack status. So, brigade change orders. It's not going to be easy. They're -1 because he's cautious. So he's definitely going to need a 7 or higher to change his orders. No, doesn't get it. Retains and stands. That's pretty much where it's done. So this northern flank over here for the Confederates is pretty safe. Now it's just these guys back here with Ricketts that's the concern. And something needs to be figured out for that. Alright, next one. Hood. Okay, this is interesting because this is Hood's last one. Evans is done, as we said before. His command is finished. Actually, I should put the command finish marker on there too. I have that someplace here. Got it right here. Just so that I'm remembered. Yeah, there we go. So Hood, now Ricketts still has one more action to potentially do here. So with Hood, let's just move this. Sorry, table is a little shaky. He really wants to take this hex, but oh, they're out of ammo, aren't they? Yes, they are. They can take it without being fired on. Say rapid fired. Right. Okay. So the 5th Texas is going to advance right into there. That'll secure the hex. Should give them the win. They're safe. They're safe there. So he can stay there. I think. So Reynolds still has another activation. I think he's better safe to stay there as a defensive position. Now over here we've got Hood's 1st Texans and the Georgians over here. Now Georgians can move up. 3 there. They're low ammo. 3 there makes 6. Okay, here's what they're going to do. The Georgians are going to retract their line. So this comes off. These 3s come off. And one ends up being a 6. They'll retract for 1. And they'll actually wind up in this hex. Oh, come on, right on the line here. Okay, so that's 1 to do that. Okay, so they've retracted, but then they're going to shoot at. Actually, they're going to retract into this hex here. Sorry. So they're going to retract into there. Then they're going to shoot at Styles up here. So there'll be 6. They moved, so they won't get prep fire. +1 for the rifles, -1 for the disorder, so it brings them back down to 0. Styles is in the open, but there's a -2 for the low ammo. It'll be a 6 with a -2. Roll a 9, but it goes down to 7. Gets a D. So the 13th Massachusetts is disrupted, which is good. That gives the 1st Texas a little bit better shot at them. They did not return fire because Hood's in front of them. And they're worried what he's going to do. So Hood is not going to fire, but declare a shock. Go right at him. So now this is going to be a tough one here. Let's see, Hood. Oh, they're level fatigue 1. Oh, should have applied that. Okay, so there's another 1. Wait a second. Be a D +2. Okay, hold on. I think it's important to back this one up. Missed that they were fatigued 1, so they should have gotten another -1 on there. So it's a D +2. It's an automatic disorder. So we're going to come back here and just roll for that. So they are a 6 with Styles makes 7 with a +2. 6 + 2 is 8. They still disorder. No change. Okay, but important to do it right. Okay, so we've got Hood attacking, and they are doing a shock attack. Styles is disrupted. If he retreats, he's going to have to take a UDD, which he can probably pass. But then the tricky part is he needs to get a He needs to get a good result to stay there. Now Hood is attacking. Definitely the lower strength. I think it's 8 to 14. So that will be that'll be a 3 to 2. It's -1. But there's an aggressive leader, so that will offset it. Disordered. Disordered on both sides, so that's going to cancel each other out. So it's still -1. Yeah, there's even odds that he's going to be okay. Yeah, he's going to stay there. We're going to try to stick him in there, see if the Massachusetts boys can hold out. So, cohesion check, which is always important. There's a +1 for him there, but they are now 4, +1 is 5. Ooh, this could hurt. Okay, but they're still in there. They're hanging out. Now they fire back. So they can fire with 7, but I don't think they'll get any modifiers because they are disordered. It's a +1 for the +1 -1 disordered and rifles. That's where they'll stay. So it's going to be 7 with no modifiers. Oh, 0, D -2. That's not even gonna brush them aside. That's not good because now here comes Hood with 8, right? Yeah, 8. All right, so Hood has 8. So I said already it's a 3 to 2 odds, so it's -1 on the odds. Stacked with aggressive leader though brings us back to 0, and defender's morale is +1. Defender disordered +1. But the attacker's disordered, so that cancels it out. There's no terrain modifiers, so it's going to be a straight up roll. Going after him here. It's a 6. That is going to be a defender retreats 1 hex and is disordered. So they pushed him back again. So retreat 1 hex. Now 7, 14, 21. That's overstacked. So they're going to have to go back 1 more to there. Put that back there now. And is disordered. This is second disorder on a shock, so that's going to be a UDD. So they are 4 +1 for styles makes 5. Oh, 6. They rout. They were routed. They didn't hold. So they go back into there. That's not good. That's not good. That's a big unit to lose. So now they can advance. Of course, the artillery is once again abandoned. And our whole stack moves forward here. Then we've got the end of turn shock, which is going to reduce our end of turn results. It's going to reduce them. Reduce them down. And then also too, he's going to take a second fatigue, another fatigue, so he's now at fatigue level 2, which pretty much is going to start diminishing them. But the 5th Texas is holding the hill. That's the important piece. These guys are out of ammo. Not much they can do. So it may be looking a little towards Confederate victory at the moment. But that's all for Hood. right, move on. Next, Kemper again. This is his third and last. So Kemper, not sure what we can do here. It's pretty tough situation. I'm not sure they're going to get off the board because he's in a good blocking position there, and he's got to change orders. So we'll go with course here first. He's going to try to do a change orders. It's a tough one here because he's normal with a 0, so he needs a 6 or better to turn into attack. Gets a 2, which is retain. So he can still move, but he retains his orders. Now, he cannot move anywhere. Can't move anywhere around them because they're in there. So he's pretty much stuck. All right. So I don't think we're going to get off the board with him, but let's continue to play it out because there's only a handful more chits to go. So with Kemper, he's low ammo. He's going to attack there. Stay in the attack. I think Kemper himself is going to stay here and try to get these guys going. So they will be 5, 7. Just roll 3. So he's in good shape. Not going to make a big difference, but might as well. So now I think he will move up to attack. Actually, they'll do a charge because they can get up there and do a charge. And Hutton will come over here with them. These guys here. They're going to stay there. And this is going to be a shock attack too. That's going to be shock. They're going to try to just recover. It's not great because they'll get a +1 on the dice. So 5 with a +1. Yeah, the top one recovers. And the bottom one there, the 19th, 5 with a +1 on the dice. They do not recover. That just keeps him in better order here. So now with Hutton attacking here and here, retreat before shock, which I think up here they're going to do. So they'll go back to there. Shock attack was there. So they can move up at least. And then these guys, they can't. So they're kind of stuck there. They'll do a cohesion test. They're 6, 7. They're okay. They're now firing 7 into the woods. They're rifled. They'll get the bonus for the prep fire. But into the woods brings them down. So it'll just be 7 with a +1. 5, 6. D +2. They are 6 with +2 on the dice. 9. So they disrupt or disorder. Okay. They're still coming on strong. So now the attack is going to be 8 against 9. So effectively 1-to-1. Nothing there. Hutton is there. So there's a disordered, so it's a -1, and they're attacking the woods -2 on the shock attack. 9 puts them down to 7. Retreats 1 hex and is disordered. Okay, so now they can't retreat 1 hex, so they've got to stay there and take a loss. So they will become 8, and they become disordered right there. That's it. So they're stuck there. They lost a unit. They're disordered. These guys can move forward into here. And that's all for Kemper. So he didn't get off the board, so we're not going to get a major win. Looks like it's just going to be a regular win taking Chinn Ridge, but we'll see. Ricketts, third one for Ricketts. Here's his chance for glory. All right, we'll take Styles first. He has to try to change orders. There's no doubt about it. He's got to try to get the 12th Massachusetts up here to attack, and then go from there. So he needs a 6 or better. 4 does not get it. It's a loose. Well, he's a loose cannon. Let's see. He is normal. So he just retains his orders. Alright, he just retains orders. Not much he can do about it at that point. They could fire at Hood. First Texas there. Try to drive them back a little bit. At least disorder them a little bit more. So we'll take that one. So they'll fire against them. They'll be 7 plus 2. They'll return fire be 8 minus 2 minus 3. I can't remember if they're in good order or not. They are. Okay, so they'll be able to get plus 2. So, okay, here we go. So 1 for the rifles, 2 for the prep, minus 2 for the low ammo, and then another minus 1 for fatigue. So that winds him up being 7 with a minus 1 and a 7 with a plus 2. Okay, here we go. Both 6s, so the Union gets 8. There's my chart here. Here we go. 8. So it's a D1, D plus 2. And the Confederates gets a minus 1, goes to 5. So they're out of ammo. It's a D plus 1. Okay. So they take a 1 hit up here. So they drop to a 6. That also triggers a, let me move these out, leader check. That's okay. So they're a 6. Now they've got a 1D plus 2, and then they've got a 1D. All right, so Confederates here, D plus 2. Hood can help, but there's fatigue, so there's a plus 1 on the dice. 7 plus 2 is 9. Hood had made him a 10, so they're okay. So they're okay right there. Now for the Union, they get a D plus 1. They're a 6 with a plus 1 on the dice. They're okay. Right. So they knocked out a strength point, but that is about it. Towers units here. He's going to try to recover. Both of them are going to try to recover, provide some defense. We'll try the back one here first. There are 4 or less. Don't get it. And they get an 8, which is double, so they actually lose a strength point. Go back down to 7. And then the unit with tower is a 4. He makes it a 5. They roll a 4, so they're back in place. So even though they're isolated, back here they're still fighting hard. Okay, so that's it for Ricketts. A couple more left here. One is a Jones. Not sure if we'll need them, but we'll move them up. So we'll get Benning going. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We'll wind up like to there. Rest of these guys, not sure. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And he'll come up over behind him. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 6. Put him over there and over there. Doesn't really matter. I'm going to wind up over there. That's Jones's second. Styles should have. Both Styles and Tower should have taken a fatigue, but no big effect. Next one is Jones again. I think I'm just going to let them be where they are. So we're coming down to the last one, which is going to be Reynolds. Reynolds is hardened up here. Their one shot is potentially getting a couple of these units up here to attack in there. So they've got to change orders though. And he's cautious. So he's at 0. So he needs a 6 or better to change into an attack. 5. Does not get it. Well, actually they do, but it's a change and restand. So he can't move. So they do go into attack orders. But they can't move. Essentially, that's pretty much it. That's Reynolds right there. It's the last chit. So with that done, just finishing off the turn, and then we'll wrap up the video here. So there was no leader losses this time. Combat ineffectiveness. So we've got some brigade ineffectiveness. McLean is brigade ineffective. Tower is as well. Over here. Bendix up here is as well. Evans is okay. Yeah, because there's no losses on there. I think that's it. So a little bit of combat ineffectiveness. Also, this gun is now lost. So he comes off as well. The other one is under Hood. That would go to a 2 status, but I'm not going to move him. So that's where we stand. The end of the third turn. Well, what happened? Well, Hood was able to push forward with the help of Kemper over here on his right flank to push and grab Chinn Ridge. So they solidly hold Chinn Ridge, even with Jones coming up to hold off. There was a slight counterattack by Styles, but just couldn't make it materialize. And they're stuck holding ground over here. Over again on the Union left, Tower was pretty much knocked out, but he provided enough of a stop to prevent Kemper's units from scampering off into Henry Hill. And over to the Union right side, Knowles, Hardin, and Bendix are somewhat holding out over there, holding the Warrenton Turnpike line, I suppose, from there. So in the end, it is a Confederate victory. I think it's a minor victory, yeah, for them. So they didn't get off the board over here, so they couldn't get that, but it's still a victory. Still roughly historical for the time. One thing I liked about this is it intrigued me because it did give that whole sweeping attack by Longstreet, pushing back towards Henry Hill. Given another turn on this, most definitely Kemper would be scrambling over the last remaining units of towers and getting onto Henry Hill. The Union would have to fold its right line back, much like what happened during the day itself. The one holdout or bright spot for the Union was over here on the left, kind of holding off Evans a little bit. But still, at this point, they're about to be flanked and reversed. At this point, Pope has to retreat and head on its way from there. So, great little scenario. Loved it. Like I said, I've played the full version of this battle before, and I have seen that sweeping attack over here with all units, as well as having Jackson up here pushing back on the Union troops over here as well. Very interesting on the bigger scenario because that does show the full grand maneuver aspect of all of these regiments in battle here as well. But this little one is good enough for the video for the 160th anniversary of the battle, which was a Confederate victory, just like Erie was today. So thank you very much. Appreciate that. We'll be back with more. Bye-bye.